What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode. Today, we are meeting with Nassuf. Nassuf is talking specifically about how they use AI in order to really maximize their results. He's talking about it in the context of his software, PPC Assist, but a lot of what we talk about is applicable to pretty much any kind of PPC management. So this should be a very good one. I had a great time. Before we get into it, a quick reminder that this podcast is brought to you by Stones Goods, our agency. We've got a link in the description below if you want us to do a free audit. With that said, let's get into the show. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Today, we've got another friend of the podcast, Nassuf, back. Nassuf manages, he's the CEO of a company called PPC Assist. They're based in France. And so he has a YouTube channel in both French and English, which I'm quite impressed by because my Canadian French would not do well on YouTube. But more than anything, Nassuf and I were talking before we got on the phone, and the topic got me so excited. I was like, don't say anything else. I'm going to hit record. Nassuf, first of all, thanks for being here. Welcome.
Thanks for inviting me on your show, Sin. Always a pleasure to discuss with you. So yeah, let's discuss about.
Yeah. So I'm a big AI fan, not because because of the possibilities it unlocks. But Nassuf, before we got on, he said we're kind of experimenting with AI assistants, and I was like, okay, you got to tell me about that. So let's start at the beginning, especially for someone who maybe doesn't totally understand AI. What do you mean by an AI assistant?
Yeah, so basically, I'm a former developer, right? So I've been in tech since a long time. And at the beginning of PPC Assist, that was the dream goal. The dream goal was to have an AI that is able to manage everything. Back in that time, AI means machine learning. So you have to build machine learning, etc., etc. So we started doing some tests with that, but it was quite the beginning of AI as we know it today. And it wasn't possible with big money to build something really that works really well. So basically we went into rule automation, and today PPC Assist is the rule-based automation software. You can automate some rules, etc., and keep control over it. And one other problem that I had with AI and automating everything is like we started getting some sellers and some agencies, and the main problem was control. So people wanted to save time, but be able to stay in control of the account, not just to delegate everything to a tool, even if it is rule-based. So we let that and we built a rule-based automation. It was working well, etc. And then ChatGPT came, and as everyone, it was like a big revolution. Like it was changing the way we work, etc. And now a lot of tools exist with that. And the thing that is very amazing with AI is that we can build tools up on ChatGPT. You can use ChatGPT to build your own tools, basically. So that's changing everything. I don't really believe that AI can automate ads, and I don't think it's a good thing to delegate everything to an AI. When you are using ChatGPT, for example, you ask some question, you have to fact check because it can make some mistake. It's still a computer behind this. So you won't trust an AI to manage your money. If you don't trust to manage the fact, you won't trust it to manage your money. So you need to keep in charge. So the goal now is to build an AI assistant, something that is able to save you time, that is able to analyze your metrics, to push you some suggestion, but to let you in charge and take the final decision. And that's what we are building today, and that's what we will release this month. So it's very, very exciting because you save a lot of time. And yeah, it's exciting to be in this.
Yeah, I mean, that's very exciting. I mean, using AI to kind of like automate good behavior, that is something that I'm quite passionate about because it's so easy to let some of the little things slip, especially if, you've got so much else going on, whether you're managing an Amazon business, whether you run an Amazon ads agency, whether you're a Shopify seller. Like there's so many little things in the e-commerce space that you need to do in a day. And it's easy for good habits to fall off when you've got so many things to do. So when it comes to using AI to kind of like build out some of these good behaviors you're talking about, what are you really looking at automating, or what things are you kind of getting suggestions from AI for?
Yeah, very interesting. Like, as I said, we mainly focus on rule automation. Like, for example, if I have a keyword that have made one sales on an auto campaign, we want to target in a manual campaign. That's needs for the sellers to check the suggestion, to check the keyword, to check if it is relevant, to make his decision. Maybe he will accept the keyword based on the relevancy. Maybe he will not because it is not the right period. He will be out of stock, so he will not. Rules don't have the context. And that's what AI can have. Bringing the AI in top of that is having an AI that is able to analyze those suggestions and be like, okay, the tool recommend you to target this keyword because you made these numbers, but based on your business, on your current profit, etc., what I recommend is not to target it, but to do this or that instead of that. With PPC Assist, we have a fully managed service that was a solution for a gap on the software. Like rule automation is good for people that understand ads, that are able to validate it, etc. But if you don't really understand ad, if you don't have time to understand it, we needed to provide that service. Now with the AI assistant and the test that we have made, you will be able to talk with your AI assistant to explain you the suggestion if you don't understand it and to help you make decision. So that's basically having the rules, the strategy that is here based on number, and the AI assistant that is here to analyze all of that and make you suggestion, explain you how your metrics are going, and having like an assistant helping you on your business. So that's the value that the AI bring today.
Wow. That's really, so you're using AI not to help with new rules, but rather to evaluate the context of the rules and the suggestions that your rules have already put together. Has there been any surprises so far? Like, has the AI surprised you, whether good or bad? Like, what surprises have there been?
Yeah, two kind of surprises, as you said, good and bad. We actually were able to generate some new rules for sellers. That's interesting because today on PPC Assist you have 3 ready-to-use strategies: one balanced, one economic, and one aggressive, and we have to make them cover 90% of the needs. But depending on your store, you might want to have more specific rules. So we have done some tests to adjust the rule with AI. It was sometime doing good, sometime not really, because it wasn't really able to explain why this rule or why this other rule. So that was kind of the thing that we need to figure out. Like it is able to suggest some rule, but we needed to suggest rule that is able to explain why are you suggesting to lower the bid when you do X number of click or things like that. So we need to work around that. One thing that is quite complex for the moment is the time it takes to answer. It can be a little bit slow for the moment. We are still working on it. That's why we are still in closed beta instead of public. Yeah, regarding that, it was quite impressive. Explaining the number is very interesting. He's very good at explaining the numbers, digging into the campaigns, and finding stuff to improve. It is very good as well as to apply some SOPs. So you give some SOPs like, this is the process we do to analyze the keywords. This is what we take a look at, etc. And then you just ask, and it is very good for that. But for the moment, I will not be confident to let everything to AI. We need to still use it as an assistant to explain the number and to give more context, basically.
Okay, so it's been really good at explaining the numbers and explaining things. It's really good at SOPs. It's not so good about speed right now. And it's not so good about giving you a reasoning behind its recommendations. So that doesn't surprise me. I mean, AI is still this black box. We're still trying to understand it. It makes a lot of sense that we don't completely know why it makes the recommendations it does. What are some of say somebody was thinking about having an AI assistant that helps them with their ads and they don't have access to your closed beta yet? What would you recommend someone do with AI today to kind of like get themselves started?
Mm-hmm. I think like we should see AI as a new user interface, basically. It's more a way to communicate with the software, basically. So today, instead of taking a look at your dashboard and analyzing your number, etc., you can ask the AI with your natural language, how is my store performing? How was my store performing last week? And the AI will analyze the number and answer you. But we still have to see it as an interface and not as an expert. In order to be an expert, it has to have the knowledge, to have the SOPs, and that's come from experts who has the experience of managing ads that can give him some SOPs. Otherwise, I've seen some sellers actually using ChatGPT just to analyze their number, charging the bulk file and telling, what can I improve? And it will give an answer that are quite general and maybe not that doesn't fit your store. So I think you still need to have the guidance of an expert, of someone who is used to manage ads, etc., to guide the SOP. So if you are not using a tool like PPC Assist, maybe you can check someone like Shin, for example, and get some SOPs and things like that, some knowledge, and give that knowledge to the AI and tell to the AI, like, you have to behave like this guy. This is one video talking about this and that, and give me some recommendation based on my report. And this way it can help. But we really need to see AI as a user interface. And the better the SOPs and the knowledge that you give him is, and the better the result will be.
Okay. So you still need to give AI a bunch of context. So
Exactly.
don't just blindly upload a bulk file or a search term report to ChatGPT and then say, what should I do? Because it's not going to know. That's kind of like the main takeaway I'm noticing is like, yeah, you don't want to just blindly do whatever the AI suggests, because it doesn't know what your business is like. It doesn't know what your business needs. That makes a lot of sense. When it comes to, and so I guess before I move on, you're saying like, make sure that you really give it context, which I think is a pretty good general recommendation. Like that's something I hear over and over again when I go learn about AI or when I go and listen to podcasts where they talk about automating different things. A lot of that just comes through, and I think that's a great suggestion. When it comes to things you definitely shouldn't do with AI, like what should people avoid doing? You've already kind of given one, which is like, don't just blindly accept its recommendations. But are there other things that you shouldn't do with AI, at least not yet, or not unless you really understand it? Like, yeah, what else should people be watching out for?
Yeah, I think people should. You can use AI to generate some images, for example, and things like that, because you have the result and you can judge it. But when it comes to numbers and your general PPC strategy, you have to understand the strategy behind that. You can ask ChatGPT to give you some suggestion, but you need to prompt it to explain why are you doing this suggestion. And I think the best way to do that is to take knowledge from an expert, load that into ChatGPT so that it have the SOP to follow it. I think one thing that is dangerous as well is to automate everything with AI, with a black box AI. It can work. It can work depending on your business. If your business is, if you have good product converting well, etc., obviously the AI will apply quite general suggestion and quite general action. So it can work, but I think like today when you are searching for something on ChatGPT and you want to create content, for example, you will fact check it because it is language generation. It's not here to provide true result. Regarding ads, it's the same. Like you at least need to understand why it is suggesting to do this and that. So I wouldn't automate my if I was selling on Amazon myself, I wouldn't automate everything with AI. I will just ask to explain me why it is suggesting that, and yeah, that's basically it. Like be aware of why it is doing that and use it for knowledge, for learning, for explanation, and yeah, that's it.
Well, another thing you brought up a couple of times is standard operating procedures or SOPs. Something that I've seen a lot of success with is actually using AI to help me generate an SOP. So that's another thing I think a lot of people could really benefit from. And especially something that I found to be extra useful is the idea of using AI and talking to AI like verbally and saying like, here are some of the things I'm thinking about. Can you help me create the steps for an SOP? That's another thing I'd recommend is instead of just writing your SOPs, talk to AI about your SOPs and see if they have suggestions. Because like you said, the assistant that you guys built has really, really good or can really do a great job implementing an SOP. But how do you get those SOPs? Well, you have to write them yourself or pay somebody else to write them or something like that. But what if you can get AI to do a lot of that work for you or do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, you know? So that's another thing I might suggest, right? Have you done anything like that?
Yeah, actually, we use AI to format our SOP. So when I'm talking about
Nice.
SOP, I'm talking about like, for example, our AI assistant. We give him a lot of prompts on SOPs on how to analyze stores, etc. And the core of that comes from our service, basically. not
Hmm.
for AI. We don't ask AI to build the full SOP, but we know as we are managing a lot of store, we are managing 42 brand today in our managed service. So we learn a lot of things from that. For example, recent knowledge is that we used to do negative targeting on auto campaign to separate everything. And now we tend to see that this is not the good way to do it, because when you negative target something that was working well, you risk to lower the performances. So now we are changing this behavior based on our experience, because we are doing it for some stores. We see what's working, what is not working. And based on that, we know that regarding our strategy, our SOP, we don't want AI to suggest to negate a search term that is working well. So that basically we will write that to the AI, use it to structure the SOP, but the core of the message, the core value, comes directly from the experience of managing the ads. Another example can be the budget, for example. We had a case recently where we defined a budget on a campaign of 30 euro per day. And we saw that a few days it was way more than 30 euro per day. It was like 500 euro because of one keyword that has a very high bid. So we know that now that we cannot rely on this. And this is very specific. Maybe it's an Amazon ads bug, I don't know. But based on that, we will not put the budget into the campaign, but we'll more define the budget into the portfolio, for example. And all of that we learn into our services based on our experience, we'll use ChatGPT or LLM to format the SOP and give this SOP to the AI, so that when our seller using the software, not the service, are prompting like, I want to analyze my store for the last week, the AI has all the SOP, what he needs to suggest, what he doesn't need to do, so that he can base on that to answer the seller.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, really interesting. I mean, the fact that you're taking knowledge that your business has created and then using that to suggest to your software customers, like, oh, yeah, this is exactly how our agency does this. Take this and run with it. I think that's really interesting. And I think that is the way that companies should be using AI, because it gets more value into the hands of the users faster. So that's really exciting to see. When it comes to other aspects of the business, have you used AI to kind of like look at other things, whether that's improving your conversion rate or like inventory? Like what other, like what non-advertising things have you looked at with AI?
Yeah, so regarding AI for Amazon sellers and Amazon experts, so basically on PPC Assist, we synchronize a lot of data. We synchronize ads data, seller data as well, inventory, etc. So every time you ask the assistant to give you some recommendation, for example, it gets access to all this data. So it can access the inventory as well, so that the ad suggestion will also based on the inventory. So for the moment, we are in that step. And outside of the Amazon world, I'm using AI for a lot of stuff like automating short generation, AI with no code. But that is another topic. I can spend hours talking about that. There is a lot of things that you can do with automation, NLP and AI outside of Amazon. But yeah, regarding Amazon, it's just a question of which data do you give him. So today we are giving a maximum of data based on Amazon seller, Amazon ads. We are giving search query performance data as well, so that it can dig into it and do the analysis. And that we still need to find ways to make it more efficient, more cost efficient as well, so that we'll release it publicly. And the goal after that will be to try to give him more data based on the context of the business. For example, you are selling yoga mats. Which data related to yoga we can find on the internet to give that to your personal assistant? Is there a yoga calendar, for example, like a specific event based on yoga, and on this event you want to increase your bid, for example? So I think it's a question of context. We want to give it a maximum of context based on your Amazon data, and after that we'll try to find ways to give it context based on your business, on your specific business, specific niche.
Wow. That is wild. I didn't realize that you're feeding search query performance data into this tool. That is really, really impressive. Has it spit anything interesting out when it comes to looking at search query performance data?
For the moment, we have done a lot of small tests regarding that. It can suggest you to target some keywords for, like, it's always based on our SOP. So for example, we give it access to the search query performance data, and we have a specific SOP regarding the search query performance. That is like, when you look at the search query performance, we want to target search term that you don't have already targeted, but only the one that converts well compared to the competition. So basically, when you
Hmm.
ask like, I would like to find new search term to target, it will analyze your search query performance, check if you don't have this search term already, check the conversion rate compared to your market. And if it is better, it can suggest you to target it in the right campaign. So you just have to validate it. The control is very important. So at the end, the goal is to analyze everything, to push you the suggestion, and you have to validate it. Those are the small tests that we have done. And as we are also working with agencies, the goal will be when we release it publicly, the goal will be to let the agency work with it. Regarding the seller, we want to make it as simple as possible. So we only give our own SOP. But regarding the agencies, we let them put their own SOPs, etc. So the goal is to put them the sandbox basically so that they can build on top of that.
Okay, wow. That's really exciting because, like as an agency owner, I look at these tools and I'm like, I really like that you have the ability to talk to an AI system or try this or try that. The one thing I always really don't like is when a software company is too opinionated and
Mm,
forces me to do what
mm,
they want to do.
mm.
Because I look at this and I say to myself, like, that's not really like that doesn't fit my best practices. That maybe fits somebody else's best practices, but it doesn't really work for what I'm trying to do, and what my clients really need. So I have a lot of respect for you for not trying to force everyone to do the same thing because
Yeah.
I've seen that not work. So that's really interesting. What's your your dream vision when it comes to using AI? Like, is there some like dream outcome that you want to have for your tools, or is it more of like I'm exploring, I'm open to possibility? Like, where's your head at when it comes to like your vision for use for sellers using AI?
Yeah, so our dream vision basically is to be able to have an AI that is proactive, not only like a chat that you will send message to and get some answer, but really an AI that is proactive, like not only for seller but for agency as well. We work with some top French agencies today, and the goal basically is like some of our clients regarding the agency part have 4, 5, 6 account managers sometimes that work on tedious work, analysis, etc. that can be done with AI. And maybe if part of this job is done with an AI, they can focus on more valuable tasks like analysis the business, etc., building the right SOPs for them, etc. So the dream vision is to be able to provide for agencies an AI assistant that is ready to use, that is fully customizable in terms of SOP, so that they can put their SOP. And let's say you have an agency with only one account manager, you can onboard more clients because you have this AI part of your team that is working with you, giving suggestion, but not taking the control. You're still on charge, on control, and you get the suggestion and validate it. And
Mm,
the really, really good thing will be to have the AI able to understand the context of the business. Like, if we manage to succeed with the seller data, Amazon seller data, search query performance, Amazon ads data, which is what we are working on today, I think it would be great. It will help sellers save a lot of time, same for agency. But if in addition to that, we are able to say like, okay, my industries is supplement, for example. And so based on that, the AI will say, okay, maybe we need the calendar for this kind of event. Maybe we need to understand the laws, like there is a new law regarding supplement. We need to do this and that. If we are able to bring more context regarding the business and have the AI be part of your team, able to push you some suggestion, that will be the dream vision. That will be very good. And the first step to that is that we are doing a lot of content on YouTube, on French and YouTube, English YouTube channel. We are publishing videos every week, and basically we want to use this knowledge to put that into a vectorized database so that the AI can use it. So that will be the first step to have data outside of Amazon. Like it will have our
mm,
SOP, the data related to your business, and our data that we push every week on YouTube. So every week on YouTube we do a new tutorial, something like this. We put this data, we'll see how it works. And if it works well, the goal will be to understand your business, to go fetch the right data related to your business, to push you the good suggestion. And if one day we reach a point where the AI assistant becomes a part of your business, is able to push you some suggestion, is able to be proactive, that's the dream goal basically.
That's amazing. Your goal is to level up sellers, take what they're already doing and give them a new team member. You're not looking to replace people. You're looking to add to what people are already doing and give them more power to achieve their goals. I think
Yeah.
that's really awesome. Yeah. Um, Nasuf, as we kind of wrap up here, I mean, I'm really excited that you're pushing the pace and doing all this. Where can people go to find out more about what you guys do?
On our YouTube channel, we have mainly the French YouTube channel and the English one. Now you can switch to English even in the French YouTube channel, but the voice is not that good on YouTube, but it's okay. And then
Yeah.
in the English YouTube channel, we will push more content. Just as a conclusion, as you said, the goal is not to I don't think AI can really replace the expert, and we will see. That's why we work with agencies, and that's why also we connect some sellers with some of our agency, because you need the expertise, you need to be on the field, you need to manage ads, because that's where you learn for real. And the AI is here to help. I'm a developer. I started this project myself developing, and it was taking a lot of time to develop some stuff. Now I have an AI assistant as a developer, and I go way faster. Like before the call, I was developing a new feature on PPC Assist, and the AI didn't replace me, but I was developing way faster than before. And the goal is to do the same for Amazon Expert and Amazon Seller, basically, to give them an assistant so that they can still be the expert on board, but instead of spending a lot of time analysis campaign, etc., they have their assistant and they can focus on the more valuable task, basically.
Dude, that is really awesome. I love that you think about it that way. I also think about it that way. We're giving more power to the people who are trying to basically take something that exists and make something new in the world. So a lot of respect to you. Everyone go check out PPC Assist. They've got a great YouTube channel.
Thank
You'll
you.
see me over there. And until next time, thanks so much.
Thank you